Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Cast Revive, your weekly Top 5 VGM podcast. I'm your host, Matt Heimroll, and here with the man that unfortunately is for the Alliance, Steve Moncelsi.
Hello, everyone out there in podcast land.
And with us also is our master, super duper awesome cool guy of engineering and audio mixing, Brian Husky.
Hi.
Yes. And
He must also be Horde.
For the Horde. Yes, for the Horde. And in case anybody was wondering and didn't know, I feel sorry for you. This is World of Warcraft, the episode that I've been wanting to do for quite a while. And Brian, actually, you started us off with a little intro here. So what do we got going on this little cheese whiz?
Way of the Monk from the best World of Warcraft expansion.
Interesting.
Agreed.
Miss of Pandaria.
No. Kung Fu Panda.
Ah, yes. Good point. It is Kung Fu Panda. And this soundtrack, this was done by Jeremy Soule, right?
He worked on it.
He did work on
it, yeah.
And Jeremy Soule is actually best known for his work in Guild Wars and the Elder Scrolls series. So the fact that he had his hands in
Fish.
And Freddie.
A lot of Fisher-Price,
really?
electronic learning. That's where he started. That's a lot of, it's like Freddy Fish and that genre.
That's fantastic.
I forget the rest of the characters. But yeah, he did music for that.
I like that. I'm going to have to go pick up some of those.
Learned something today.
I like learning, yes. So Steve and I are gonna throw at you our top 5 World of Warcraft tracks today.
This was very hard.
This was hard. I mean, World of Warcraft has some amazing music, and there really isn't a bad expansion, especially musically. So to cut this down to 5 songs, I'm sure we're going to upset a lot of people because there's a lot I wanted to put in. You can't. So I went with the one that actually impacted me the most while I was playing this game.
And I feel about the music for Warcraft was that, it wasn't just background music. Like every song, everything that plays there's a reason behind it.
Right.
And it would all either fit the scene, it pushed you on. It's just that game lived and breathed by its music.
Right. No, absolutely. And when WoW first came out in 2004, right, is when WoW first came out.
Oh, some time ago.
Yeah. I mean, I played WoW. It's hard to believe it's been out that long. But I mean, I played the original Warcraft, Orcs vs. Humans, and Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3. And then when I heard about a World of Warcraft, I was like, I'm into EverQuest. I'm into Dark Age of Camelot. Like this, so I'm just like, I don't know. I decided to give it a try, and now here we are.
See, for me,
12 years later, I'm still playing the game.
For me, I was the opposite of that. I never played Warcraft 1, 2, or 3, or anything like that. I started with World of Warcraft. So when I saw these characters, and I'm like, okay, so Arthas. Okay, I gotcha. I know who that is. Now, this Warcraft 3 was all about him.
Right.
So now I can go back and watch that game. I was like, that's kind of cool. All of his story on how it all came to be in World of Warcraft. I'm like, this all makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like reading the book, though, from like chapter end to the beginning.
To the beginning. Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, and this game has an unbelievable amount of lore. I mean, I watched a YouTube video. It was like, I think a little over an hour just explaining just the main story of World of Warcraft. That's not every little tidbit that goes into it. I mean, the fact that there's so much detail that they utilize from games of the past, even up to present.
Right.
It's not like everything is just like, all right, we're just going to... They always pull something in that like wraps everything up, and it's just a fantastic story. And I know there's a lot of... maybe not a lot, but there's a good amount of people that despise WoW, especially what it's kind of become. But you can't deny, I think it's got one of the best stories.
I don't think people hate it because of the story. I think they hate it because of
the people.
Everything meta about World of Warcraft.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's become a game that's it's hard, especially new. If you're coming into it new, it's hard to get into. The community is very unique.
Unique's the word.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of agree with that, but then again, it's also a game that's so vast and intriguing that you don't have to play with other people.
True.
Prime example, my wife is not a gamer at all. She loves World of Warcraft, and she has a level 80, level 90 character that she's worked up without playing with other people. She's done it all on her own, and she loves it. She loves it.
No dungeons?
No, she never really does instances. Like she's done instances
that would be
like maybe 1 or 2 times at all.
Yeah.
But she's just flat. I actually have, I meant to bring you the book. but I actually have in a Guinness Book of World Records. There's a guy that got from level 1 to 90. Took him 12 game days just by herbalism and stuff like that.
He did it with a panda character.
He never killed anything.
Wow.
Yeah,
anything.
He did it with a panda character on the starting area there, and he just took mining and herbalism, and that's all he did.
Yep, went to town.
That's devotion.
Yeah.
That is devotion. That's cool though that you can actually do that. Wow. I mean, how much? I can't imagine what 89 to 90. I mean, like
12 days, game days.
That's
Click, click, click.
to be like, I am never. I wish he had. Did he have numbers about how many herbs he actually gathered during that time?
Not listed in the.
Put it all in the auction house. He's the richest guy ever.
Probably.
That would no. I couldn't do it.
No,
I couldn't do it.
No, and you're a crafter, and you and you like alchemy and herbalism. So
but I'm not a gatherer.
Yeah.
I hate gathering.
That's true. That's true. I'm the guy that likes to buy everything on the auction house.
Yeah.
When I first started, I was like, "Yeah, this is great. I'm leveling up." Now I'm just like, "No, I'm just going to buy a boost. Screw this."
If I got to start over again, I'm going to start with a vest, and I just don't want to do that.
Yeah,
So I'm just
exactly.
going to buy everything.
So before we start, I'm going to ask, what is your guys' favorite and least favorite expansion? Brian, we'll start with you.
Well, you know my absolute favorite is Kung Fu Panda. I am not a fan of Cataclysm, I'll admit, but I really think Burning Crusade is my least favorite.
Interesting.
One, because of the crappy color scheme that all of your armor had. You had like neon pink, tights and like a green sweater vest. You looked like absolute dick.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That card looks.
Two.
So that's what that looks like.
Second, they did nothing with Illidan. They did absolutely nothing with Illidan. They just got to the end of the expansion. They're like, well, maybe we'll just let people fight Illidan now. That was it. And then you got to the end of the dungeon. It's like, oh yeah, there's Illidan.
Nice.
3, they turned Kael'thas into a villain. And I was not happy with that. Kael'thas is my favorite WoW character outside of Medivh, and they ruined him. They turned him into a whiny little priss.
Money.
Money. We did it for money.
Yeah. You're evil now. How much you paying me? All right, done. I'm going to give you this cool staff, too. Steve,
Yes.
least favorite and favorite expansion.
I like them all. I don't have a least favorite. And then again, I've only played up to Pandera. So that's all I've ever played up to. But I like them all. I didn't have anything. I was never an end gamer with Warcraft. So I've never fought any of the end bosses or anything like that. I've never even seen Illidan or anything like that. I know what that character looks like.
Right,
I've never seen him on screen. I was never one for raids. I never did raids because I just don't have patience for people. So there's that. But I was really good at instances and stuff like that, and I was always kind of a tank character. And I really don't have anything negative to say about the game at all.
Interesting. My least favorite is Warlords, the newest expansion. I think the expansion itself is not utmost garbage, but a lot of it is. I thought the idea to build your own base was brilliant, but making you do it I wish it was account bound.
I wish it was account wide, yeah.
Having to do it on all your characters, the same quests over and over again to build all this same stuff. I'm just like, it wasn't like, okay, you're this particular race and this class. We're gonna make things look a little different or get some different. No, it was the same on everything, and doing it all over again. No, I did it twice. And I was like, that's it. I'm never doing this again, ever.
Not even those quests, but I don't know if you're aware of this, Steve, but they turned WoW into Suikoden at the end of Draenor. So you got to recruit all these characters, and you had to do it for every character. Every character that you had. If you were an alt person, you had 10 alts, you're screwed.
And there are so many followers to get. And then you have to level them up and get them gear. So it's the same thing over. And it became your base. That was it. You came on to do your dailies in your base, send your guys out. By the time you were done all that, you're like...
You'd spend 3 hours and you were done.
I got to go.
Yeah.
I don't even have time to go out and collect anything. I spent all my time here in the base.
See, I was happy as hell when they introduced Pokemon into World of Warcraft. I loved it. I have every damn thing you can get.
I've never even tried it once. I probably won't.
You're missing out.
Yeah, it's
It's
actually
like
a lot of fun.
10% of the game now.
Yeah, it really is.
But see, for me, and we all know how I am with achievements and trophies and stuff like that. So when Warcraft released achievements in game and stuff like that, I was like, yeah, that's going to be my downfall. Yeah. So
Here we go, Leroy Jenkins.
So I just became obsessed with getting as many as those, and I'm actually still pretty high as far as achievements are concerned.
Nice.
The hardest part was finding people to go back and do like all the old raids and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
for
It's
sure.
like, man, I need to get some of these mounts that you can only find. What was that raid in the very first Warcraft that like it was like all the bugs like in the hive thing?
Ankirash.
Yeah, something like that. And they had tanks or mounts you can get in there.
Yeah.
But that's the only place you can get them.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
like, oh, can I get a bunch of people to come with me to go get these things?
Nope.
No? Oh.
Only place you can get them and only place you can use them
Yes.
is in there.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it counts
Yeah, it
towards
does
your,
count
But it
your
does
mounts.
count.
It
Yes, it
counts
does.
towards your mounts. So, again, achievements.
Yeah, achievement.
It'll be the death of me.
Achievements were cool. And Cataclysm, actually, a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but Cataclysm was my favorite expansion. I loved Deathwing. I loved the
It looks
areas.
so awesome.
And the fact that the area that you started playing in was completely underwater. That's like my dream zone. And I thought it was, the way they handled underwater combat and everything, I thought was great. Storyline was great. And it just blew me away. It just blew me away. I know a lot of people immensely disliked Cataclysm, but I love that it transformed the whole game into basically something new.
Oh,
but
yeah.
through Deathwing.
Oh, I
And
love
I thought it was.
Cataclysm.
I thought it was
Cataclysm.
Clack-a-click-em.
Cataclysm.
Cataclysm.
Just the intro when you get to see Deathwing like destroying the world, and you see what was that harbor town? Oh my god! It actually tells it in Westfall, not Westfall. Stranglethorn Vale, the town.
Oh, Booty Bay?
Yes, in Booty Bay, and you
Booty
see
Bay.
that.
Oh, you see it
You see the
getting.
goblin. You see that tidal wave come
Yeah.
and just crush it all
I
out.
think my favorite transformation was Thousand Needles. How it
Yeah,
went
how
from
it got
went
flooded.
like the Grand Canyon, now it's just completely flat. Just like, oh my god, how much time I spent here. Now it looks
It's all underwater.
it looks
and stuff.
You know
amazing.
what my favorite part about that cinematic was? Is when Deathwing's approaching Stormwind.
Oh yeah,
And you're just like, yes, these people are going to get what they deserve, finally.
screw the Alliance
And then he doesn't do anything.
for the Horde.
Yeah, he sits up there,
You're
looks
like-
pretty.
Yeah, there was, up until recently, there was a giant like claw mark on
Yep.
one of the turrets.
Yeah, yeah.
They just repaired
Oh,
all
really?
the damage that he did. Yeah.
It's such cool stories.
No,
it really is.
it really is. And we may or may not hear a track or two from Cataclysm from one of us. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe.
We should jump into it though.
Let's do
You're
it.
starting off this week, Steve.
Okay.
Because the last one I started before the guest was Town Hubs. I had to go back like 4 episodes to find out who started last. So it was me. So we're going to kick you off.
All right, with my number 5. Now, if you started as the Alliance as a human, there is nothing more serene than the sound of Elwyn Forest. I mean, this talk about sucking you right in to like, yes, I want to play this game. This game is awesome.
No, I mean, we've said this before, especially in an MMO setting, music is so important. And the composers do an absolutely amazing job. And I think Jason Hayes, I believe, was the main composer for, I think, the first couple. You had Russell Brower, or Russell, got to think about the composer's last name, Russell something. But I mean, you had Tracy Bush, Derek Duke, Glenn Stafford. They kind of split up the tracks. But Jason Hayes was known for a while as the World of Warcraft composer, and I even found out today that I didn't know that Matt Uelmen from the Diablo series actually composed some of the tracks in Wrath of the Lich King, and I did not know that.
That makes sense. I mean, they're both Blizzard products, right?
Yeah. It's just I didn't know that they brought him in, but I thought that was fantastic when they did that.
I wish he did a little more.
Yeah, I love. Oh man, I'm not even gonna get. I could spend a whole episode talking about the original Diablo and how that's like one of the best soundtracks of all time.
The theme of the podcast.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
changes in
exactly.
the middle.
Right into,
You don't forget all this. We're doing Diablo now.
What number 4? Diablo town theme 3. But I mean, I do have experience with Alliance. I had a level 90 Draenei Shaman, and I did love some of the Alliance areas. And you could absolutely tell musically the difference between Alliance areas and Horde areas.
Right.
Especially in the starting zones. I mean, you compare the undead zone with like a human starting zone.
Right.
I mean, just life and death, literally. And the music just fit perfectly for what your races were going for. So, and Elwynn Forest, it's a landscape, and visually, it's a beautiful starting area.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
The classical like MMO starting area for humans, like
Right.
the forest.
Right.
It's like
Right. Exactly.
Very typical, and it had evil children in it, which is even cooler.
Evil children.
They would walk around Goldshire in like a pentagram formation, and then they would go upstairs into one of the inns, stand in the pentagram formation, and there would be like eerie chanting.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And
That's pretty cool.
Wow. We can't. I guess we can't use that.
And Goldshire's in Elwynn Forest, right?
Yes.
Goldshire is an Owen Forest.
Yeah, it's on the outskirts of Stormwind.
Yep.
One of the main things I remember about Goldshire is from the South Park episode of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
They're all just fighting in town. That was a riot.
I have never been a South Park fan, but that was one episode I've watched,
That you had
and
to
it's
watch.
absolutely hilarious.
Yes, it
It's like,
is.
I feel their pain. I get it.
The dude just like standing there in like his underwear, just like dancing and killing everyone. That was hilarious. That was a good time.
I don't have it. I'm sorry, Steve.
No, go ahead. No.
I was going to say I don't have it queued, but this is the original music for Elwynn Forest, which got changed in Cataclysm.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
They removed this one and they put in a different song, different music.
Nice.
That's awesome that they would take the time to do something like that, because that makes sense.
No, I mean, yeah.
A huge ass dragon, just like, it's not going to be peaceful and serene. It's going to be panic and mayhem.
No, absolutely, especially because Stormwind took such a big hit. So, in Elwynn Forest, Goldshire being right outside of Stormwind, it would make sense that we need to make this a little different. It's not that this music is super happy and poppy, but
Right.
a lot of people died when Deathwing showed up. A
Yes.
lot, including myself, multiple times.
Well, that's my number 5.
That's good.
Elwynn Forest.
Good choice. Good choice.
What did you pick for number 5,
You're gonna
sir?
have to find out.
Sir.
I don't give things away. You earn it. I love this track, man. The Echoes of the Past. And Brian, you told me that this was brought in from Warcraft 3.
Yes, it
Isn't that
was.
what you said?
Yes, it was.
So another cool thing that, like we mentioned earlier, that they're bringing stuff in for previous games in the World of Warcraft. So I didn't remember this game. I remembered it from the Caverns of Time for the Durnhold Keep, Escape from Durnhold Keep. So the fact that they had this in from Warcraft 3, I need to actually go back and see where and what it sounded like from the old PC days in like 97 or 96, whenever Warcraft 3 came out.
Yeah, it's around there.
I imagine it sounds quite different than this. But this track is just great. I mean, it's got so many things going on. It starts out like, hey, what's going on? It's just like it just throws it right at you, and its composition is just it's so heavy. You got this, especially because I mean, in the Caverns of Time, which is a really cool addition.
Yes, it is.
Being able to go back and do these
Yes,
things, and
it
even
is.
though Escape from Durnhold Keep wasn't super long, it was intense, and it was cool to see. You're doing these things at different periods in the Warcraft timeline. So it was a great.
Is that the instance where like you're like at the very end, all these things just keep coming down at you, and like you have like wasn't it like a gold dragon or something like that helped you?
It was gold or green. Yeah, I believe. Yeah, at the very end, the dragon. You had to fight off like those waves of guys, and then the dragon
like
came
shadow
down.
things or something like that kept coming out.
Escape from Durnhold Keep, you rescue Thrall, and then you take him to his like lady friend, and then you get assaulted by the dragon flight that's like trying to kill time, basically.
But there is that is the place where that dragon does come down and you fight him at the end.
You fight. Yeah. All of the Caverns of Time stuff, all the time travel stuff. You fight one of the dragon flight.
Gotcha.
people.
I remember that. It's like the four-legged dragon things look like centaurs almost. They have the spears.
I forget what the name of them, but yeah, pretty much dragon centaurs.
Dragonkin or something like that.
Dragonkin.
Yeah.
Just call them that. Dragon spawn.
Dragon spawn, dragonkin, dragons suck. But it was I loved when they added that in. I thought it was a great new addition to running dungeons. Dungeons are my thing. I love running dungeons.
Yeah.
I don't have a whole lot of experience with raids. Instances were my thing, especially running it as my main as a druid healer. So almost insta-queuing up for stuff. As a tank. Running as DPS, as fun as it is, it sucks when you're by yourself because you're literally waiting an hour to get into a group, and then you get in, and it's like the worst pug ever in the history of existence. So you're just like, I could have run this solo faster than doing it with this group. Yeah. So it's
you know
how
hard
you
it
even
is?
restart your queue.
Or you queue up and you're there like, I gotta take a piss, so you run, you come back, you see you missed your timer, so you've been re-queued. No! Why do I have any friends that are healer or tank?
You know how hard it is to tank as a paladin? Let me tell you.
Easy?
It's not no, it's not. If you go like retro pally, then yeah, actually you get more DPS than you are tank. So you can actually do more damage. But man, it's hard to keep aggro when you're a paladin.
I never played a paladin.
Everybody's looking at me with like blank faces.
Well, I thought paladins were supposed to be the easiest tank class, but I've never played paladin as a tank. So
Steve hasn't played in a while. They buffed him majorly. Like,
oh really?
Yeah. There's no way you can lose aggro.
Again, I stopped at Mr. Pandera.
Yeah.
well, that's the second. The next expansion is Warlords. That's the current one. So you're only one expansion behind. But from 90 to 100, they added a lot. And basically, yeah. Don't you just?
You only missed one.
Well, you've been playing for a while, so you really haven't been out of the loop that long. But Warlords, they added and changed so much, and they cut down a lot of the abilities.
Right.
You don't have a hotbar of like 90 things anymore. You have like 10. And they're like, okay, we're going to take this ability, this way, this way. We're going to throw it all on the one thing now. So you don't have to do 3 different things.
Nice.
So now it's like, I'm going to throw down Consecrate, and I'm just going to stand there. Oh, hey, look, I'm getting instant healed, and I'm keeping aggro, and I don't have to do anything. Pally is the click and win tank.
They got it easy. You got to work a little harder if you're like a warrior,
Guardian Druid.
or a guardian druid.
For all my female troll Guardian Druids out there.
If you want to tank boringly, play a guardian druid.
No way, dude.
I maul and I bite, and enemies love me.
Hey. But then when I throw my armor build, I got all those leather pads and spikes come on me. I look awesome.
Huge change coming for guardian druids. Instead of being like evasion based, you're going to be like life and mitigation based. So you're going to be able to take more hits instead of like avoid hits, which never made sense as a bear.
Yeah.
Unless you're dancing like Baloo from Jungle Book.
That would be great. That would be great if they added that in.
Did this bear just like juke me here? Like, how does that happen?
What is going on here? I can see that as a cat, as the feral, feral druid, stuff like that.
avoidance.
Yeah.
It makes sense there.
That was
All
my
right.
number 5,
Very
and I liked
nice.
it. I liked it
That's
so
great.
much that I'm giving myself a pat on the back
There you
because
go.
it was a great way for me to start my top 5.
Well, let me tell you, my number 4, you've already heard it so many times, you either love it or you hate it. I learned to just embrace it and love it.
We'll see.
Here's my number 4.
Gotta love WoW victory music. What do we got here, Steve?
If you heard this music, you were dead,
Yes.
good sir.
Yes.
You were walking around as a spirit, looking for your corpse, and hope that you can get away from whatever PvP character is guarding your body.
when I first died in WoW, it's not just like, okay, you're going to get your corpse. Like, literally, the whole color scheme completely changes. You're just like ethereal spirit, and you're just hauling ass towards you. He's like,
Well,
when
that-
I get my body back, I swear to God.
Well, that and when you come back or when you first die, there's that angel that's over you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that just looks awesome.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like the thought that they put all this thought into even the fact that when you die, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like they have music for it and they have a feeling and ambiance around it, and like I said, I learned to embrace it because
It's like-
I saw it often.
If you go and get your body, you'll be revived. But if you resurrect at the angel, you're going to lose 75% durability. Start with less health and damage for 10 minutes. And I didn't realize that at first. So I get it back. I'm like, all right, let's go. Run out there. Why am I hitting for like 10 damage? And
Why
I'm
am
getting
I
like,
naked?
I'm getting one shot. This is garbage. But yeah, it was a very unique way to symbolize your death in this game. And
Plus, they used it to do really cool things. There were a lot of hidden spirits in the world that
Yes.
you could only see if you were dead.
especially in
Really?
Undercity.
Yeah, in Undercity and famously in Blackrock, the middle of the volcanic mountain, there was a dwarf spirit who gave you a quest to maybe get inside the dungeon or maybe do some other stuff. But anyway, you did a quest for him, and you could only do it if you're dead.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Time to reactivate WoW.
Oh wait a minute! You're talking about the when you go into the that center pillar.
Yeah,
there,
just
and that,
the rock
there's
that's
like
there
the,
held
yeah,
by
okay,
chains.
okay, yes,
He's
yes,
standing on top of his coffin.
yes, that I do know. Okay, I do know of that. But yeah, okay, yeah.
The other cool thing about
With you.
this is that
Blackwood Lair.
I came from EverQuest, so when you died, you had to write down your actual coordinates. Otherwise,
Oh my
you were
God.
never finding your body.
Oh my God.
So like this was a nice refresher because it's like, okay, it changed everything. I know exactly where my body is. I can just go to it. I don't have to look on the map. Especially when you were on a boat in the middle of the water and you got disconnected and you died in the middle of the ocean and I lost everything in EverQuest. I was like, oh my God, man. So you're trying to swim and it takes you like 6 days to literally get across the water because
The
you're just swimming.
originator of Rage Quit.
It was brutal. What? Loved EverQuest, but oh my goodness, yes, it was. But
Never
you know,
played EverQuest.
Tangent number one.
Never
No,
played
no,
EverQuest.
Like number
Never
5.
played EverQuest.
Never played it.
Great game. That's where I met my original gaming group was in, and then we moved over to Dark Age of Camelot. We were Voss Sanct guild, and I played Dark Age of Camelot for 4 or 5 years with them.
Wow.
Actually flew out and met one of the guys that I met on there, and just kind of cuddled for a while, and then realized it wasn't where
Look
I
at
think.
that little.
So. No, it's just great because
exactly
it was
what
great because when you land, you're just like, all right, I know this guy very well, and,
but I
you know,
don't know this guy at all.
But anyway, we get his wife and stuff, and she played and everything. So when we got there, it's like, what do you guys want to do? And he just pointed, and like he had all the computers set up. I was like, all right, we play, and now we're going to the same place. We're going to play tag. This is exactly what I
What's the
expected.
video camera for, sir?
What's that oil? just to keep your fingers moist.
So now, oh wow! All right, so EverQuest came out first. So did they like pattern the world of Warcraft as far? And I don't mean that as in the title, but I mean the actual world of Warcraft after EverQuest, kind of like the feel and the play. I've never played EverQuest, but they sound very,
totally
very
different.
similar.
Totally different. EverQuest was a lot of open attacking, and there weren't really like styles or things that you could really do. It was much slower than Warcraft. Warcraft has gotten incredibly fast now than it was back in the vanilla days. But EverQuest was very, very slow. And the thing I liked about EverQuest more than Warcraft was, at least in the beginning, I don't know how the game is now, but it was very much team oriented. You got a group, you went to a location, and you stayed there for 2-3 hours just grinding mobs as a group, getting to know each other and really building this synergy. Wow, you're solo doing quests by yourself, get new an instance, nobody talks to each other, you disband, and that's it. You're not forming these relationships.
That's very
so
true.
in terms of an online community, EverQuest and Dark Age of Camelot, I feel did it so much better because I love that more than anything. Getting together with a group of people, sitting down, and being like, so what do you do? Let's all right, well, let's rest for a couple minutes. Let's get our let's regenerate and get our mana back and stuff like that, and then we'll go in. So you're really talking to these people, and then that's how you form these friendships. I've never done that in WoW. I have never met a person in WoW that I put on my friends list that I would actually continue playing with, exception of my
I'm on
friends
your
in real
friends
life.
list.
Yes, you are.
There's a couple people when I started playing Warcraft that I got to know, and I still actually talk to them to this day. and I met them through Warcraft.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There were a lot of people who have met their significant others, have gotten married, and which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Just my personal experience, I haven't had that because I don't feel it really sets you up unless you're in a guild, and even then, the guilds that I've joined haven't been
right. And all the people I met that I'm still friends with were all in the same guild.
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is it's interesting because when we started playing World of Warcraft, those Voss Sanct people did too.
Yes,
But they joined the Alliance.
they did join the Alliance. Yeah.
Shame
So that's
on them.
ultimately why I cut them out of my life forever.
here
what?
I go.
I'm
This is my swan song here.
I'm gonna play it now. Woo woo, woo woo. Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
I didn't know you did the voice acting for the gnomes.
I did. Well, I didn't want to, puff my chest out and just say, I'm the original gnome voice, but it looks nice on my resume.
That voice sounds sort of gnomish. I know it from somewhere.
You're hired, sir.
So the graveyard, that was my number 4.
Good choice.
Again, I heard it a lot. So I love that. I love the creepiness of
You're
it.
just the guy that died and literally never got his corpse. He just ran around as a ghost. He's just like, I love
this music. I do. I like this music.
I got the 1 to 90 just as a ghost.
Impressive.
That's an achievement.
Nice. Better be. Number 4. Choose it up. Me.
You?
Yeah. yes. Yes. We did Steve's, and now my next tick is gonna rival that. It's interesting that, Brian, you said that Burning Crusade was actually your least favorite, because this is an Outland suite. This is music from the Grand, right? And the thing I loved about Burning Crusade was when you first stepped out and you looked up and you saw the sky in Outlands, and it was one of the most spectacular things I'd seen in a game. And you're like, you got the Aurora Borealis, you got the stars, you got all these crazy effects, and it blew me away. And I spent so much time just looking around at different things in the sky, and that's why I picked this theme, the Outland Suite. It's because it just incorporated so much into this expansion and these different areas that you went to in Outlands that I just felt it just was beautiful, man. Like the colors and the scars and stuff.
Well, what I liked about Outland was that it didn't feel like it was just here's another section to play in World of Warcraft, kind of like an expansion. Whereas, here it actually felt like it's a whole nother world.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like it's not really attached to anything. It's a whole separate entity.
Right.
So everybody was going in blind when that first came out. I liked it.
Yeah. And when you first and you saw that Fell Reaver walking around that was like 30 stories tall, it was like, ah!
And you just knew, one day I'm going to fight that thing. And
now you go back as level 100, you like 2-shot it. You're like, you're not so tough, punk. But
brushing dust off your shoulder.
But just the layout and everything of the Outlands was it was awesome. I mean, there was so much fire, especially in that first area. And there's the orcs, man. The Hellfire,
the Red Orcs.
The Red Orcs, man. Hellfire Ramparts was probably my favorite, even though it was the first one, probably my favorite dungeon out of all of Burning Crusade. I loved it.
I have a question.
I have an answer.
So, in the Warcraft mythos, is like Outland where the orcs came from? They kind of used all their resources and stuff like that, and so now they're trying to find a new place to survive, and that's what brings them to the normal world.
That is a long story to tell.
In a quick synopsis, is that it? Ish?
Kind of.
They explain a lot of it in Warlords.
They explain a lot of it in like the lore in vanilla Warcraft too.
Yeah, true.
And Warcraft 3, and you actually play through the campaign in Warcraft 3, and that's how Draenor, which is Outlands, becomes destroyed, is through the use of their fell magic.
Yeah.
And that's why the orcs are green when they're on think the magic turned them green, and then like normally orcs are brownish, reddish color or something like that.
Possibly. There's so much I can't keep it straight.
But their main bad guy Gul'dan is responsible for bringing the orcs to Azeroth. So it wasn't really like this planet stinks now, we're gonna go to Azeroth. It was just like a conqueror, like a.
So the Draenei or whatever are from
Draenei.
Outland?
Draenei, well, again, not really. they got there later, but yeah.
They were a big part of.
They're called the Draenei, but they have another name.
Bobs.
Yeah, Bobs. The Bobs.
The Bobs.
Space goats.
June 10th, though, Warcraft movie. I'm sure they're going to be because it's taking place back in Warcraft 1, Orcs versus Humans. So they're probably gonna set up a lot in terms of explaining some of this stuff. So you'll get to see Gul'dan and Dark Portal and all that stuff. So yeah, if you want to learn more, I'm sure that movie will.
Well, that's just the thing. I mean, that's if they would have put all of the lore and stuff into a book, it would read like War and Peace, man. I mean, that thing.
Yeah.
There's so much to figure out.
I've always wanted to read some of the Warcraft novels. I hear some of them are pretty good and some of them are
I
kind
have
of
a
good.
few.
You have a couple of them, right?
I have most of them. Yeah.
But do they follow, like, are they all separate, or do they actually continue with each other where the previous one left off?
So there's like little series.
Mhm.
So there's a couple that have to do with one character or a thing happening. Like the opening of the Dark Portal. There's like 3 books on that, and then like in the future books they reflect on the opening of the Dark Portal.
Right.
But it's not like one continuous series. It's a handful of novels that all relate to the universe.
Gotcha,
And
gotcha.
cover different parts of the lore. So.
But I loved it. I loved Outlands.
Yeah,
Spent a lot of time here, man. A lot of time here, and it's
Oh my God, the Nether Drakes. Oh my God.
Did you do that quest chain? to
No,
get all those?
I tried to get the mount.
Yeah.
Again,
Mounts.
Damn achievements.
mounts.
Yeah, reputations were the stupidest thing to grind. And
Oh.
that was one of the worst.
I couldn't do it. I've only ever had like one thing exalted because I refused to do.
Oh
like
my
grind-
God, the original Warcraft stuff. I had everybody exalted, including the Scarlet
Crusade.
Crusaders. Oh my God, I actually have the Scarlet Crusader tabard.
Oh, nice.
Which was really rare at the time.
Really rare job. Yeah.
Only one I wanted to get exalted was the
Hydraxian Waterlords.
no
Oh,
the Syndicate. Well,
The
you could
Syndicate.
actually actually earn some.
Is it the Syndicate?
Well, I thought it was.
with the rogues.
Is it the Rogues?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You started out like hated, but you could I think eventually get up there. I think you had to. I think you had to.
neutral or something like that.
Yeah.
That's as high as you can get.
Well, I thought with them you could kill certain enemies that actually gave you some small faction points to them.
Right.
But you didn't
Marks
get
of the
anything.
Syndicate
I
or
don't
whatever.
believe they didn't sell anything, but I thought it was just
No.
like a little side thing you could do.
Yeah, but then if you killed, give you like 2 points.
Right.
And
Which
you're
is
like-
Well, it would
which
take
why
a while.
The turn-ins were so important. But
Yeah.
then I think they removed those.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure where that reputation's at. That faction. Bloodsail Buccaneers.
Right
is
in
another one.
when you listen to the episode. Right in. Yeah, Bloodsail. Maybe that's what I'm
Get
thinking.
your
of.
admiral's hat.
Yeah,
You gotta go
that's
kill
right.
a bunch of
That's
goblins.
right.
That's right.
You killed a bunch of goblins. Wear this hat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Commit genocide? Get
Yes.
a hat.
Done and done.
Well, Steve, I think it's time to move on to your number 3.
I think everybody will like it.
I
I'm hoping.
hope so, Steve, because
We're losing faith. We're losing faith. Graveyard, that's the best you can pull out.
really, dude.
My number 3, The Dragon's Rest.
Damn dragons.
There's
Always,
other
always
dragons.
taking the lazy way
This
out.
had
Rested.
actually, now that I remember where this was actually found in Wrath of the Lich King, had a really, really cool cutscene in it. Where you see the dragon, that dude becomes that the high dragon. Oh my god, what was it? Do you remember? It was like the orcs were like all fighting against this dragon, and like you got to watch the whole thing unfold.
I'm trying to think.
Because
It's so long since I've done Wrath
in
content.
Dragons. I forget what the name of the area is. It's Dragon something.
Dragon Blight.
Yeah, Dragon Blight.
Yeah.
That's right. And there's like a huge tower
Mhm.
in the middle of the place.
Yeah, where all
And
the
then-
aspects
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
And then you go off to the side, and there was like this, like not a porculus, but it was like the barricades, the speared barricades, and there's like a guy standing there, and if you walk over, he turns to the huge dragon, and he just starts like torching everything. Yeah. It was a.
He basically becomes Liu Kang.
It was a cool cutscene in the middle of playing, and that's
Right.
what they didn't really do that. You always had the cutscene at the beginning,
Mhm.
and that was it. But this was like the first that I know of in-game cutscene. You sat back and watched, and you're like, "Oh my god!"
Wrath is when
Oh.
they started doing that. Yeah, and I think your Anvilmar, the Wrathgate. It's the beginning of that is with the dragon, and then it ends in like the undead released a plague.
Right,
that
the-
they've
right,
been
the blight,
concocting,
right.
And
Correct.
And, they kill one of the Alliance heroes that I never gave a crap about.
Alliance, who's that?
They're dead apparently.
Wrath was an awesome expansion. I mean, when you first entered Northrend and like you had all the Celtic music playing and everything like that, and just the landscape, it was gorgeous, man. You started in, it was the basin. What was it? What were the two? The Borean Tundra was one.
Borean Tundra is where you
Yep.
started.
And then there was another opening area. There were two that you could
yeah,
come
on the
into, depending
opposite
if you were
end of
Horde
the-
or
of the
Alliance.
continent.
Can't believe I don't know this.
I'm trying to think of what it was. Borean Tundra.
Right
and-
now, one of our listeners is screaming at the podcast.
You
It's
gu-
this! It's
you guys
this,
are
it's
so
this."
stupid.
God, just say it! Just
say
it!
Cold Land.
Cold Land.
Cold Land.
There we are. Borean Tundra and
It's
Cold
something
Land.
landing, isn't it? It's
I can't think of it.
wow.
I can't think of it.
Well,
It's going to come to us, though.
It'll come to us
At the
during
very end, we're
conversation.
like, got it! But yeah, I mean, Wrath was amazing, and it was one of the actual expansions that I actually got. I know you said you didn't do raiding or do like final bosses.
Right.
Wrath was actually was my first one that I did. I never did Burning Crusade either. I did it in Vanilla WoW, so I actually got to fight much later, not during to get gear, but I actually got to do the fight and do the cinematic, and it was
Wrath of the Lich King is what really pulled me in story-wise to
Right.
Warcraft.
oh yeah, it's the yeah.
You know, and that one actually like has expanded. Like, okay, so here you go. It's a tangent, but it's not a tangent. It's going to come full circle. Okay, so if you ever play Wolverine for the X-Men game for the PS3, there's a side thing, and it's actually an achievement in the game. It's called the Sword of Arthas, and if you go in this tunnel that's off the beaten path in the game Wolverine, you can find the sword, and it's got a question mark over it, like you were going to get a quest in World of Warcraft, and that's all it does.
Oh,
but
nice.
it's the
That's
Lich
pretty
King's
great.
sword,
Yeah.
and that you don't use it, you don't do nothing, you just see it, and I'm like, that's this cool little throw-in.
That is
Why?
pretty cool.
Who knows? Who cares? It's an awesome little thing.
That
That
is-
area is the cave where Frostmourne is in Dragon Blight. So this music would be playing when you go to that cave.
See?
And it's Howling Ford. Howling
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 Fjord,
Fjord.
that's right. Borean
Yes.
Tundra and Howling
Yeah.
Fjord, yes.
Because
yes.
there's an instance right where you come in the Howling Fjord.
Utgard.
Yeah.
Utgard Keep.
That's
is
the
in
first
Howling Fjord.
instance,
Yep.
really, in...
It's the bottom
It's
half
a-
is one of the first, and then the top half is one of the last.
The Utgard Pinnacle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they both take place in the
It's
same
all
building.
coming back, it's all coming back to me now.
Another reason why we need to have video right here to see Steve's head bopping.
Well, I'm just remembering all... Man, it's been years since I played this game, and it's like, man, trying to remember all these things. It's like...
You said you still have those WoW Game Time cards. Go
I do.
pop it
I
in
do.
or give them to me.
Or give them to me.
Or give, whatever, I'll help relive those
Yeah,
memories
either
for
way. Either way, we're both winners.
I'm still active. I still play. So.
Nice.
you. Very nice.
I would, but I got Division right now.
Oh my
so-
god, if I was to start up again, it would be like 2 days of patches and downloads.
Yeah.
I'd have to get for
Yeah.
the game.
Take a vacation. We'll let
Well,
you know when the game is ready.
Yeah,
How
you,
much memory do you have free on your PC currently?
you got Legion coming out at the end of the year. That's when I'm going to go back. Or when Legion comes out, unless we can get people together to help you through your challenge mode to get your Yeti.
I would love to get my Yeti.
If we can
but
get
it's not gonna
if we can
happen.
get a group of people that will actually be on and not flake, then I will reactivate for a month to help you get that mount. I will gladly
You get
do
a
that.
Yeti mount.
You get a Yeti mount if you speed run all the current dungeons.
That's where my interest comes in. You get to speed run it.
Wow. All the existing, like from the very beginning all the way through?
No. Just the Warlords of Draenor dungeons. There's like 7 or 8 of them.
Yeah.
And you got to get, there's different time brackets that will give you gold, silver and bronze, and you need silver in all of them to get this. It's a Yeti mount, and it is huge.
And it
Wow.
caps you at a item level. So it's not
Right.
like I have the best gear in the game. I'll go
Right.
run through it real quick. Like no, if you're at 800, what's the cap? Like 740? You know what it is? 730, 740?
I don't even remember, but 630 is the cap for challenge mode.
Oh, okay. So 630 is the cap for challenge mode. So it's like everybody is on the same level. It's like all
Wow.
about teamwork and communication.
It's all about time.
And
And you're going to
it's
see
all
day
about-
2, that one dude's going to have it somewhere, and you're gonna be like, oh, that's...
Oh, it's
how
been
the hell?
it's been out
It's been out for
it's been
a
out
year.
it's been out
Yeah.
for a long time.
But
A lot of
it's-
people have it. But you just look up challenge mode on on YouTube or something. You see these people do it, and it's like, wow, like these people really know their stuff, and you got to know all your abilities. And anyway, that's a whole separate.
It's easier to find 40 people to do a raid than it is to find 4 people to do a challenge mode
do a
with.
challenge mode. Yeah.
All right, well, Dragon's Rest.
Good number 3.
This was
good number
my
3.
number 3.
Very, very peaceful. I
I love the
kinda
piano
like
in that song.
We're-
Since we'll actually talk about the actual music now,
Yeah.
the piano in that song is fantastic.
Yeah, we're about to go deep with my song.
How deep?
On my number 3. You just wait and see. People will call me crazy for loving the depths of Vashir.
You know, you would think the guy this is his favorite thing ever, like in Warcraft, and he's scared of the water temple in Ocarina of Time, you know?
What a babby.
Because it's
He
Ocarina
should
of
be
Time.
all on that.
No, dude, this was great. Like, the introduction to underwater combat, this area was effing fantastic. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the ocean. I won't go, like, deep ocean.
But I respect it. I like it.
Trust me, one thing I respect is the water, man. Like, don't mess with it. And it's just being surrounded by it and, like, just how beautiful it looked, like, and everything was so fluid. Especially if you were a warrior.
Was it fluid, Matt?
Yeah.
Was the ocean
see,
fluid?
See what I did there? You see, you picked up on it? Yes. Being a warrior and watching them like speed swim like towards something with charge, that was one of the most delightful things I've ever experienced.
More so than the seahorse mounts.
Oh, the seahorse mounts were awesome. When you completed that quest, you just hauled ass around.
Yeah.
And then you went to that one area and you saw that giant whale there, and you're like, oh, I want to
yeah,
kill this
whale
thing. He's like,
shark.
no,
The
the whale shark.
Achievement for killing it.
Still
Yes,
never
it
killed
is.
it. I should go back. I should reactivate and go kill it as my guardian druid. Guardian druids, raise your hands up and unite. Guardian druids. All right, nobody's doing it. But there are people out there listening to this being like, I know that dude. That dude's legit for going guardian druid.
I can't help you
I
on
love
this.
all of you. But like Cataclysm, as I said before, was my absolute favorite expansion. Each zone was completely unique to itself, and I loved it. And the fact that they started you off underwater was just great. I mean, you started off going on the ship. You know, you're going out into the ocean, then you're attacked, and your boat sinks, and you're just like, I need to figure out a way to breathe under here. That's like my first thing. So you're questing, and then as soon as you go out, it's all the rest of the crew.
Gullyweed.
Yeah,
Gillyweed.
the rest of the crew is like fighting. So like you have to jump out and like what the hell are these things? Like what? There's monsters underwater now. So and then you go ahead and slaughter all them because you're
All
just
the
that
Naga.
awesome. Yeah,
A lot of Naga.
a lot of Naga.
Holla at you, Naga.
Naga, please.
If you're a Naga fan, put your hands. That's it. That's got to be a T-shirt. I got to talk to some people. Oh God, that's fantastic. This episode goes to Steve. Oh my goodness. Vashir, did you enjoy it? I know a lot of people that did not enjoy the underwater movement in combat.
It took a little while to get used to, but once
Yes.
you got used to it, it was pretty cool. You know, it was blissfully. It wasn't a very large area, So, like, the quests were kind of centralized.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll use that word. Centralized into pocketed areas.
Right.
So you didn't have to like swim across the ocean to go and do a quest. Do you know what I mean?
And that's what I loved about it, because like you start out, all right, you got a bunch of quests here. Now you're done. Move to this next area. Now you're going to unlock a next part of the story. Let's do all these quests, and then you move on to the next section. It wasn't like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
One thing that sucked is when you had quests in like a sunken ship, and you're like, okay, it says it's here, it's not here. You're swimming up and down through different decks, and you don't know where you are, because once you swim at a certain angle, the camera moves right up on your guy, so now you're lost.
Yeah. The hardest thing about that zone is especially if you're going through a higher area of that zone, is enemies all around you, because you're just used to running. All right, there's nobody in my scope. I can keep going. But
right.
I forgot to look above me. Oh crap!
Right, here comes
there's like 40 dudes charging me. It's all right.
Backer of the whale shark.
Yeah.
Summon the whale
No. But
we call him Leviathan.
But Cataclysm was actually the only expansion that I've done every quest in minus the rating. Every quest in every zone, I go so hooked on everything in it.
But also they modified the quests and how they did quests and stuff like that. That's why what you're talking about is like you start in one area, you progress to the entire zone, not go to one end of the zone and come back and give this guy his strudel or whatever he asked you to fetch. And they did that in Cataclysm because they were just like, okay, well, the game's getting kind of stale, we better do something. So they started doing these like story-driven quest lines.
Right.
Very impressed. I did not like Vestirgio.
I can understand it. It's just, the only reason I did is because, like I said, I'm a huge fan of the ocean, and just the way everything looked under there. I thought it just visually was absolutely amazing. Stunning. And they had a lot of really cool like flashback and like story cinematics in these different areas, so you got to learn like more about the history of this area, and it was filled with so much lore. They threw so much at it that I was like, okay, if I'm going to do this expansion, I'm going to do it right. I'm going to do everything, and it just plus I thought Deathwing was just an awesome enemy. I mean, it just,
yes, he was. Now, speaking of death, I know we already did the Graveyard, but this song is probably one of my all-time favorite Warcraft songs. And it's a lot of people's favorite Warcraft songs.
Write in if you agree.
How awesome is it that when you start off as an undead character, you get pretty much treated to this right from the get-go? This song is so awesome. This is called The Lament of the Highborn.
Lament of the Highborn.
Do you know about this song?
Tell me.
There's this character. The character is the head of the undead city. What's her name?
Sylvanas.
That's it. Which all ties into Arthas' story.
Right.
And, you get to see her as a night elf and stuff like that in Warcraft 3, and you get to see how she gets turned into this creature.
Right.
Like a banshee type
queen.
thing.
Yeah.
She is the Banshee Queen.
And she looks so awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, so Sylvanas is great. That character is awesome, and reason why my favorite race in the game is undead. I was always undead, and when I played competitive Warcraft 3, and I always thought, so the fact that I could make it, and I was like, oh my god, now I'm in the Undercity and seeing all this, it was just seeing the abominations running around in the Undercity, and the fact that you got to take orders from Sylvanas down there, you're just like, this is just awesome. This is awesome.
See, it was a switch for me. Like, I was always playing an Alliance character when I started playing Horde. It was just like, I'm used to killing these things. Like, my first instinct is to go kill this thing.
Right.
It's like, oh wait, they're on my side now. All right.
Yeah, that was always interesting, jumping back and forth between the different factions. You're just like, oh yeah, oh wait a minute, that's my buddy. That's my buddy dwarf. I guess I'll be nice to him. Okay.
Go on, little guy.
Yeah, go on, little man.
Undead were the swing race for me. Because when WoW was in development, I was only paying attention to the Alliance characters. I was like, oh, they got dwarves. Oh, they got elves.
Yeah.
Oh, they got... humans.
Yeah.
And then I saw the undead, and I was like, all right. And then I was horde.
Yeah.
See, what I want to know is how does the undead fit into the horde lore? Like,
Very precariously, they are like the backstabbers of the group.
like you figured like the undead would be like the neutral party in everything, like that their own kind of.
They want to be. They just can't stand on their own. They're limited, right? So the Forsaken, which are the undead that we're talking about, were created with that plague that
Right.
went through Strathholm, and
Right.
so those specific plagued, are the Forsaken, and they are limited. When a Forsaken dies, you can't make another one.
Right.
That's why the development of the plague is such a big part of being an undead. Is that's what you're trying to do, is prolong your life, and I think they're going to address a lot of that in
Legion.
Legion. Yeah, in Legion, Sylvanas is a big player in that game. In that expansion.
Wasn't Arthas like the one who like created the plague?
No,
No, that was
Kel'Thuzad.
yeah.
Yeah, Kel'Thuzad.
It was like his underling kind of guy, his like the main.
Before Arthas got corrupted by
Right.
the sword and everything.
Yeah.
And then Kel'Thuzad came in.
He looked like a large bishop-looking character.
Kel'Thuzad was like a guy with a goat head on his
Yeah.
face.
Yeah, yeah.
Think Diablo 1.
They,
Going all the way back.
Now I'm with you.
Going all the way back, baby. Yes.
What's his name? The goat?
Garbad the Weak.
Garbad.
Garbad the Weak, baby.
Wow.
Is one of the
Trivia thrown out on the table.
one of the named guys that would pop up in one of the dungeons down in the depths. It was great. You just hear like it was like Garbad the Weak. Oh my God, this jackass! Fun to kill him though.
Because it always is.
Yeah.
All right, so that is my number 2.
I like it.
The Lament of the Highborn.
Now I'm going to kick things up a notch. Instead of going low, we're going high. This is my personal jogging song. When I start, I just imagine people stepping out in front of their houses and just start blowing their trumpets at me as I run by.
I've never seen you run, Matt.
I run a lot. Thank you. This is Rise of the Vrykul, and this was in Utgard Keep. Pinnacle. I always get the two mixed up. I should know Pinnacle is high.
See,
You just referenced it.
And I just said we're going high. So there goes where my head is at.
Throw yourself off the top, man.
But this plays in the dungeon there, and it's awesome. There's so much going on in this dungeon, this music, and you can just envision these tall, shirtless dudes with axes coming at you. They got like this green chest hair.
I picture that all the time.
it's always shirtless with you, isn't it, Matt?
It really is. It really is. I mean, people have to get comfortable, you know.
My
But the
character
Vrykul is
never got-
awesome. I love the Vrykul in Wrath of the Lich King. It's a great race and just an awesome story.
I never got far enough to see Pinnacle. Yeah. Nope. By the time I got to be at that level and to even look at that stuff,
Right.
the next expansion was already out. And I was like, all right, moving
Like,
on.
well, later, not going to finish this.
Yeah,
Peace.
bye.
But there's
Later.
a mount there. You can get a blue dragon.
What?
Yeah.
Now I must go.
Was this the dungeon that you fought the guy who he was throwing the spears down? He would fly by and set the whole path on fire. That's what I thought.
You
I thought.
freeze like one side of the pathway.
Right,
And you had to
right.
collect all the harpoons.
The harpoon. Yes.
And then launch them, and then he gets thrown off.
He
his
gets
dragon,
thrown off the
and
dragon, then you fight him. Yeah.
Is it really a dungeon if it's up above?
Oh, it is.
Well,
It's
they're
a-
called instances.
That's true. But it's his play dungeon.
Oh,
A lot of chains and stuff.
gotcha.
Yeah.
It's like the 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, well, I hear
It's-
that's where it got its inspiration from, was Utgard Pinnacle.
What are these rubber suits for?
The Vrykul. Very interesting. in a playful way. But yeah, that's my number 2.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's we had to get some more Wrath in here because Wrath is just. I mean, I've said it a million times before, but
Wrath is key.
Wrath is key, and it makes me want to remove my shirt. So,
Again with this. Brian, will you talk to him, please?
in case you're wondering, no, we don't do live podcasts in front of
And
people.
this is why.
When you leave at night, Steve, I become his therapist for an hour.
It's
I'm
true.
trying.
That's secretly why we brought him on board. I need someone to talk to.
Well, speaking of shirt ripping,
Oh,
my number 1 does this to everyone who plays.
I like it.
The lycanthropes. The Worgen.
I was so excited when they added the Worgen in, but I loathed that starting area.
Yeah, that is actually
Absolutely
one of the worst.
loathed it.
Yeah.
But I thought the race itself was awesome. 'Cause, when you're first going through Silver Pine, you're just like, oh my God, Son of Arthur, whatever, he's running around, and you're just like, oh, Son of Aragorn, not Arthur. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Son of Arthas.
Son of Arthur is a wolf. What the hell is going on?
Shake fist.
Yeah, you good looker. But when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, that's just so cool.
Pod.
And then they added it in, and I was so fired up that you could actually do the transformation and anything like that. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. And then playing the beginning area, I was like, okay, it's raining, it's dark, okay, typical. Let's see where this goes. And I'm like, okay, this is pretty boring. And then it was just like the panda starting area, just like the goblin starting area. I just like, oh, come on, guys, let's just end this. Just let me start killing stuff.
You know what would have been tasty? Had they so you know how when you play the Worgen you can switch back to like a human form or whatever. If you were allowed to take a skill set as a human form, so if you wanted to do like herbalism and then alchemy, then when you change to your Worgen form, you could take mining and smelting or something like that.
OP.
Worgen,
OP, please nerf.
please nerf, please. They have that in Heroes of the Storm. They have a character that's a Worgen, and when you're in human form, Greymane, yeah.
Greymane.
You have a set of abilities, and when you're in Worgen, you have a different set of abilities. So the human is range, and the Worgen is close melee. So
See, it was so awesome of a thought, it's already been done.
But he's been hit with a nerf hammer so hard that they actually deleted his character, and nobody plays him anymore because he doesn't exist.
But I bought him.
No, I'm just kidding. He's still around. No, he's fun. He's fun. But yeah, I mean, to get back on this, I mean, this track is cool. I really do enjoy. I enjoyed the look and the music in the beginning Worgen area, but I just
It's very Hammer films. This setting, but I think what you don't like about the starting area, like the pandas, goblins, and is because you're locked there.
Yes,
and that's the last thing you want in an MMO.
Yes.
Is to be.
And the worst is the Death Knight. That is the worst. I have still never gotten out of the Death Knight area. I've made 5 of them. I refuse to continue to get myself out of the Death Knight starting area because it drives me up a wall. It's too long. It is too long.
Yeah, I agree.
Just let me. It's like by the time I leave, I'm like almost like level 10 in these. Like, come on now. Like, I want to be able to explore and not. If I could just, like you said, I could just. All right, this is a cool starting area. I'm just going to go to a different one and do my stuff over there. Give me that option, but it locks, and you have to complete everything.
You know what? You go there. You do you. You do you. I'll do me. Okay. You just. You know what? I have to say something about our lists.
Please
Here,
do.
That I'm listening to the tracks that I picked and the tracks that you picked. You have all these glorious like victory, like you want to go and like just bash something kind of tracks. Mine are all death. Like, okay, seriously. Aside from Elwyn Forest, I had the Graveyard, followed by the Dragon's Rest, which is a dragon graveyard, Lament of the Highborn, and then Curse of the Worgen.
Although you said Elwyn Forest is not about death, it actually is, because when you start, you actually lose your soul because you're playing an alliance character. So you are dead. You are dead to me, sir.
I see
Yes!
what you did there.
For the Horde.
But so I think there's something seriously wrong with my music psyche here.
It's a little melancholy.
It's hard not to be. And
I like it. That's why Castlevania is like my favorite thing ever.
There's so much death in Warcraft, and filled with the lore and everything. I mean, and it's hard that, it's hard not to sometimes pick tracks because death plays a very big part in this game, you know.
Yeah.
So and the way they do it and incorporate it into the storyline, it's just
The harpsichord is awesome there, wasn't it? Sorry.
It's great. 'Cause, I mean, that's one thing that, you know, I know we've touched on this before, but I love doing this because people don't really get a chance. You know, I'm sure people are out there being like, man, I love this music. I wish I had someone to talk to about or something. But like, you know, and we try to bring that to the table where we're by no means experts in this stuff. We're just sharing our favorite music and why we pick them.
And our bad memories.
Yeah. I'm not going into deep composition building or anything like some of these other guys do.
That 3/8 note was
Yeah.
a little off there, but it was wonderful.
But I mean, some people do, and they want that more hardcore, which is great. This is for the everyday person who just enjoys gaming music and just wants to talk about it. And you know, and even though these are our picks, you know, I'm sure a lot of people agree and disagree with us on our pick. But that's the thing. It's not like we're not right and we're not wrong. These are our picks.
Everybody's got a
Give me your
story.
top 5. I won't say I can't, except for Ellen Fars. I can fault you for that because
That is a great track. I don't want to hear it.
I'd have to keep poking you just because you.
Fight.
Yes. /duel. Let's do it.
Book it on WoW and duel it out,
Let's
guys.
do it.
Duel it
We're
out.
reactivating tonight. I'll bring my 100 druid, and you can bring your
my
90,
little 80 or 90
your wimp.
paladin.
But-
Actually, I'll bring my my horde gold, or was it golden elves?
Get it up there, and you can help.
Golden
Or
elves.
whatever.
the golden,
No, they're the golden elves.
the
You're
gold,
right.
the golden
You're
elves.
right.
The blood elves.
There you
Shut
go.
up. You go into Silver Moon City, and they got the golden girls there giving out quests. Like,
No,
come here,
okay.
golden elves,
All right,
come
all
out.
right, all right. Do you want to know why I said golden elves? That's actually a thing. Okay, the reason why it's golden elves. My character, my screen name for all my gaming stuff is Jander. He was written in a Dungeons and Dragons novel. It was based in Ravenloft, which is all the undead. Here we go again. All the melancholy undead
Right.
series that I love.
Brian,
And-
you can be you can deal with him. I'll leave for a little bit. You can talk to him about his issues.
about his undead issues. But the race that the guy is, he's a vampire, but he was a golden elf, and so he's tormented because he loves all the beauty and the stuff that elves have, but he's a vampire, so everything dies around him, and,
Right.
and he's tormented with that. So, but he's a gold elf, and his name was in the storybook was Jander Sunstar, and I loved his character so much. My screen name now for everything is Jander.
Very nice.
So
Very
that's
nice.
where it comes from.
I like it. I like getting background to people's names.
Now we know.
I don't need to explain Matty J311. It's really nothing special about it. Just my first and middle name with my favorite band.
It was
Done.
the first paladin of the Silver Hand, Matty J 311.
He was the leader of the
Matty
Golden
J,
Elves.
311, step forward.
That's me, guys. Let's go. Well, let's move on to my number one.
Finishes up with the number one.
Yours is definitely taking the low key. Mine have taken the strong power approach. And
That
this
is true.
one is going to power over your face.
When did we descend to like Mount Doom?
When Deathwing approached, that's when. This is Zaxxas. This is actually the track for the opening cinematic for Cataclysm.
Nice.
And the great. I mean, listen to this part. Like you can just envision him just raining death upon, and it's just cool. I mean, the cinematic. You watch Azeroth being molded into what Deathwing
absolutely.
wants, and you just all these areas that you have all these memories in are just being destroyed. Because you're literally, your emotions are literally being torn apart. You're just like, oh my god, I'm never going to walk on the ground in Thousand Needles again.
Well, like, wasn't in the cinematic? Weren't they like putting armor on Deathwing, like just like
Yeah.
big spikes like into his body, and just
Yeah.
it's like okay, this isn't gonna be good.
No, and literally, he's just flying through the areas, and just fire is just erupting all over the ground, just blowing everything apart. And it was such a powerful cinematic. I remember watching it watching BlizzCon, and then when they revealed it, I was stunned because I was just like, everybody else, okay, where is WoW going to go from here? And it's just That's why I don't understand why people don't like it, because they took such a dramatic turn. They reshaped the world to give you a whole brand new experience. And I just thought it was the right thing to do. Otherwise it's just, okay, it's going to get a little stale, same world. No, we're reinventing everything. And what's the way to do that? A giant effing dragon. And it was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. And that's why, because so many changes, and they brought a whole new feel to the game. Like Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn. This was Azeroth Reborn. And I loved it. And just, that's nice. The music just literally ended at the end of my screen share. I was like, yes. Points! But it's, I can't say anything else.
Very good. Well, since you can't say anything else, I think we'll bring the close. What do you think?
My clothes back on? Or are we talking about...
stitch your shirt back up and...
for the third time.
No, I'm wearing like 5 shirts. I'm just going to start wearing it. Okay, number 5. Oh, just rip my
Hey,
head
Matt,
off.
have you bulked up? No, I'm just wearing an extra shirt.
I'm just wearing an extra shirt. I'm wearing a shirt that actually has like muscles cut into it, so it looks like I'm in shape. Yes. So, Brian, you're actually doing our closing, our outro. So, what do you got on the Froghorn here?
On the Froghorn,
Yeah.
I got Totems of the Grizzlemaw, which is
Nice.
a theme that you hear throughout all of Northrend in Wrath of the Lich King. Mostly in Howling Fjord, which I forgot the name of, which is shameful. And
I
in
did too.
Grizzly Hills?
Grizzly Hills?
Grizzly Adams Hills?
Grizzly Adams Hills.
Yeah. And
Grizzly Adams has a beard.
I just love it for all its Celtic stuff.
anymore.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's a what'd you say?
I said not anymore.
Oh, yeah. Well, death again.
His skeleton has
Death.
a beard, Steve.
Steve, go home.
It hasn't been that long.
You're
The
scaring
beard's
me.
still there.
I'm worried I'm going to die. But so that wraps up our I think we both had really good, very very different takes on everything. But let us know what you guys think. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter at Cash Revive. Shoot us an email at cashrevive@gmail.com. We also have a YouTube channel where we're putting up all our podcasts in video format, so you can check us out there as well. Next week we got cool things coming. We got a lot of really cool things coming. Wrapping up on our season finale, which we're going to have a live Name That Tune. For anyone to listen to kind of guess along, and for hardcore fans of the show can play and hopefully win some cool things. So follow us on all our social media, and see if anything else you want to drop before we head on out.
Yeah, I'm going to go home and reactivate my account so I can remember some of the names of these places that we've talked about all evening.
Fantastic. Brian, thank you for being here and for mixing and live talking with us. We always enjoy having you on the mic with us. So until next time, we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.
Peace.